They said Brushy State Penitentiary kept its own time. The clocks in the guardroom ran slow, the sun rose a little later over the yard, and men learned to count by the way the building sighed. When Henry Cole arrived, he carried a small cardboard box of belongings and a watch that had stopped the day his wife left. He tucked the watch under his pillow and tried to sleep, but the penitentiary had a different rhythm. Footsteps that never matched any guard's shift, a distant tapping that sounded like someone tracing names into plaster. On his second week, Henry found a scrap of paper tucked beneath the radiator in his cell. On it was a list of names and a single time, 012. The handwriting was cramped, as if written by someone who had been holding the pen for a very long time. He asked around, the men shrugged, said it was probably a joke, or a dare. That night, the lights in the block flickered and went out for 12 seconds. When they came back, the man in the next cell was awake and staring at the wall, his fingers white where they gripped the bars. He would not speak of what he had seen. The tapping grew bolder. It moved along the corridor like a metronome, stopping at each cell as if checking a list. Henry began to notice small things shifted, a book moved an inch to the left, a photograph turned face down. Once, in the laundry, he found a shirt with a name stitched into the hem, his name, though he had never sewn in his life. The harmonica player in the yard stopped playing one evening and simply listened, eyes fixed on the far wall where, for a moment, the mortar seemed to breathe. On the night the watch under Henry's pillow began to tick again, it did so backward. He woke to the sound of the bell, one long, hollow ring that did not belong to any schedule, and the ledger in the guardroom open on a page he had never seen. Ink had written itself across the lines, "We keep the hours for those who forget. You are due." Henry left the watch on the sill and walked to the window. Beyond the razor wire the world looked ordinary, but the sky held a thin, wrong light, as if someone had turned the day inside out. When the gates opened for the morning release, Henry stood with the others and stepped forward. He walked out with his box, the watch still warm in his hand, but the photograph in his pocket had a new face on the back, one he did not recognize and could not remember ever seeing. He tried to tell himself it was a trick of sleep, of hunger, of the penitentiary's long, patient ways. That night, at home, his watch ticked backward again, and at 0:12 he woke to the sound of tapping at his bedroom door.